Hello, this is Daniel, and this is my Great Gatsby Journal entry, video journal entry 1. And what I would like to talk about in this entry is Gatsby and his character, personality, as it changes from really the beginning of the chapters, when we really kind of just know a little bit about him through what Nick says about him, all the way through chapters 4, 5, and 6, where we really get to find out more about Gatsby and his life as he tells it to Nick, and as Nick actually finds out. So we kind of find out through Nick. But in the very beginning of the book, we don't know a whole lot about Gatsby except that he's rich. He's got a mansion. He throws elaborate parties. There's some strange rumors about him, and the only time we see him is the time Nick sees him out pointing out towards the water, and at the time we have no idea what he's doing. So it's weird, mysterious, and Gatsby's really kind of primarily a shadowy figure, per se, that is very obvious. There's a big, elaborate background story just kind of waiting to unfold, which it does. But that's our first impression, our first initial impression of Gatsby in the beginning. We really dive into Gatsby's personality, and we really get to find out more about him during his car ride with Nick. And when Gatsby is telling Nick about his past, the things he's done, he says stuff like he went to Europe to hunt big game and to find rubies and jewels and things such like that. He says he went to Oxford. He was in the war, and what he says about the war is that he just wanted to die, but he had enchanted life or something along the lines of that he was almost immortal and could not die even though he wanted to. His life was just too good. So what we get from Gatsby out of this is that whether this stuff is true or not, which Nick kind of speculates is not true, because he says stuff like, I think Gatsby's pulling my leg. I had to hold in the laughs because Gatsby's story just was ridiculous to Nick, to where he was almost laughing at it. But anyways, whether or not this stuff about Gatsby is true, he definitely likes to put himself up on a pedestal. He's got a big ego, it seems. If all this stuff is true, he definitely likes to gloat about it and likes to make himself out as this superhuman, almost. This big, elaborate guy. And if it's not true, then he likes to bloat even more and make himself out to be something that he's not. So either way, he likes to put himself pretty high up on the societal levels, clearly. But then, as we see towards the end of 6, gradually going up to 6, as Gatsby, rekindles this once flame with Daisy that he used to have a couple years ago. He kind of comes down to earth a little bit, I suppose. It's like Daisy is this one thing that plants his 2 feet from the ground, and he isn't so hot-headed about himself. He's not hot-headed in an arrogant way, but hot-headed is, and he likes the big life. So, but she seems to really bring him down. And at the end of 6, when Nick is talking about, he's talking about Gatsby and Daisy together, and there's a couple paragraphs of just really deep, dialogue of what he feels when he's around Gatsby and Daisy. And the last line of the paragraph is uncommunicable forever. And what I get out of that is that Nick has no words. He's at a loss for words when he is with Daisy and Gatsby, and I think that comes a little bit from Nick's first impressions of Gatsby, as well as ours, because he knows Gatsby as this, like I said, big time party party animal, lots of people at his house, living the high life, all that kind of stuff, and all of a sudden just this one girl brings Gatsby so low, and he's so obsessed with getting her back. You know, he makes Nick arrange for them to meet with her without her knowing, so he can get back into it. And he's just got his sights set on getting back with Daisy at all costs. He tells Nick it's not impossible to bring back up the past, and so yeah, I think the end of that paragraph through Nick's words really insinuates that there's a connection here between Gatsby and Daisy that is actually true, and Gatsby is showing some true down-to-earth emotions that I think he doesn't really show leading up to that. He kind of shows just the party Gatsby that we kind of come to know him as. So that's my initial reaction to Gatsby's personality at first, and how I think he ends up at the end of chapter 6, and how he's changed throughout those chapters. And I think that in the next couple of chapters we might even see some more personality change, but that'll be up for another video entry.